Welcome back to another video on my channel. My name is Julia and I'm a licensed nail tech. Today we're doing my mom's nails. We always start off with hand sanitizer, and yes, I'm rubbing it into my gloves. Yes, these are clean gloves, but I just like to be extra careful. I have her rub it in too, and then we're gonna go ahead and get started by pushing back her cuticles. I no longer take clients, but the few people that I do work on, like friends and family, I make sure that I keep that same level of sanitation. So everybody gets a brand new file, they get all new porous items like sanding bands, things like that. And I make sure that I'm doing everything that I would if I was still in salon. So now what we're gonna do is we are going to remove this old cat eye polish. It was so cute, but we're definitely ready to see it go. Just so this video isn't 1,000 hours long, we're gonna go ahead and keep at least this pinky here in real time, and then for the rest of the fingers, I'll go ahead and speed it up. As you can see here, my e-file is at 30,000 RPMs and it is going in the reverse direction because I am right-handed. And now we're going in with a sanding band. What you saw me doing there just a second ago, that was me just removing any of the harsh edges on the end. Basically, I'm scoring it like I would a file. That way I can get it nice and close to her cuticle without having to worry about cutting her. It's really important to note here that I'm using my e-file on 4,000 RPMs. So this is really slow, it's very gentle, and it's not going to create a lot of heat. I'm also taking a lot of care to make sure that I'm not angling the bit down into her nail and creating any rings of fire. Now I'm going in with a flame drop bit, I believe it's called. I'll have to look it up if anybody's interested. I can link that in the description box down below. Anyway, going in with this flame drop, and now I'm using this in forward at 10,000 RPMs. And you'll notice I'm going different directions around the nail. That's gonna help lift up that cuticle that we've already pushed back and expose the nail plate even further. This just helps to make sure that we have better prep and that we get any skin that shouldn't be there off of the nail plate. Now we go in with a, I don't even know what you would call this one. Basically, it's like a round top cone bit, I guess you would call it. This one is not any particular brand. And we're going in and just further pushing back those cuticles and removing any hangnails. I like to shape the nails before I go in and add any more product. This allows me to see where product is needed and where product isn't. So this helps me reduce my product waste and keep the nails nice and thin. I always turn my clients over and file their nails from this perspective. So basically, I see this as looking at it from the client's point of view. It helps so much, and I've noticed a lot better end results when I go about it that way. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna remove any dust with some alcohol, and I'm gonna go in and just gently nip away any bit of non-living tissue that really isn't needed anymore. It's just gonna create hangnails, and it's just gonna be a nuisance and really not look very pretty. Now it's important to note that this isn't painful. I'm not cutting any live tissue, and it just really seals the manicure and makes it look so much better. Now we're gonna go in with some primer. Now I'm going to go in with the base layer. This is the gel that I'm going to be using to build up her structure. I like to go in with a little bit of a base and then cure that before adding a slip layer. This basically kind of just locks in that primer and makes it so that way you don't have to reapply your primer. I think this works really well, and I notice that I have a lot better retention when I go about it using this method. And now we're going in with a slip layer. A slip layer is exactly what it sounds like. It's a layer that provides slip for a bigger bead of gel. I like to use this method. I feel like you get a much better finished nail. There's a lot less filing that you have to do. So that slip layer is uncured. You grab a bigger bead, and now I'm gonna go and just float that in and gently pull it through the nail before putting it in the light. Now, once you see this hand disappear, that's because I'm working on the other hand. So I'm never sitting there not actually working, just in case anybody kind of got that impression that, gel is maybe slower, it's not as efficient. You're still constantly working just like you would if you were using acrylic. And now we're going to go in with some alcohol, and this is actually a little wipe from Walmart. They work really well to get rid of that dispersion layer. They don't leave behind any type of lint. They work wonders, and they're super cheap. Now I'm using that same sanding band that I used to prep with to go in and just make sure that that cuticle and her sidewalls are nice and flush and that they're really smooth. That way when we go to apply polish, it goes on really easy. We don't have any type of like skin sticking out basically that polish could stick to. Now we're going to go in and finish file by hand. There are some days where I don't have to finish file at all. Today, it just wasn't one of those days, but that's okay. This was still about an hour-long appointment, so it's not like it took me any extra time to be able to finish this. And now it's time for polish. This is probably one of my favorite things to do, especially when you get that nail nice and clean and crispy. It makes application so much easier. So the way that I like to apply is I push all of that product right up against the cuticle, not touching the skin, but really, really close to it. Get it nice and tucked under there. I cure that. And then I go in with a liner brush and I just tighten up those sidewalls to make sure that everything is nice and flush and you don't see any of that nail or extension or whatever it is peeking out through. And then if needed, I'll go through with another coat like you see me doing here. Here is arguably the best part. It's top coat. I don't know what it is about it. I love it. It can take a kind of meh looking nail and make it look so flawless and so just clean and put together. Also, I left this in here. Here you can see me switching back and forth in between the two hands just to get an idea of how that actually works and flows. Now, this is a hack that I got on Instagram, I believe it was. This is micellar water in a pump bottle, and I'm using that to just clean her hand of any dust. It also has the added benefit of making that skin look nice and moisturized and supple without having to use any cuticle oil or lotions right away that could potentially dull your top coat. So if you haven't tried this before, go ahead and give it a try. Here it is. This is no cuticle oil, no lotion, nothing. This is just that micellar water. And look how beautiful these nails turned out. I was super happy with them. And as always, I love catching up with my mom. Thanks for watching, and I hope you have a great day. Enjoy your Thanksgiving.